Welcome back, everyone. Check this out. Little something for breakfast, little twist on French toast. This one's good for big kids and little kids.
Today we're making French toast cinnamon bites.
So let's get into it right now. First up, we got a little bowl because we've got to make our cinnamon butter. This is about 2.5 tablespoons of softened butter. You definitely need that. Two tablespoons of brown sugar. And to round it out, 1 teaspoon cinnamon. Just like that. Now the reason you need the butter softened is because now we got to mix it all together into a paste so that we can spread it all. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you definitely want it well combined. And there we go, just like that. Let's put it aside. So I brought my bread out, basic white bread. I'm going to make 4 sandwiches worth, which is just enough. If you want a little more than that, you're feeding a lot more. Make a little extra butter and a little extra brown sugar. That's really all it is. So you just got to judge it by how much you're doing. I would have probably, for what I made, 3 would have been plenty because I really shouldn't have been frugal with the paste. I should have really loaded it up. Alright, there's just a little bit left of the cinnamon butter. We're not going to let that go to waste though. We'll put it aside. Our 4 bites together. Now we got to cut off the crust. Why? Well, that's a good question. Because it's fancy. Although it seemed like kind of a waste. I'm pretty sure you don't have to do it. It would seem to me that you could likely not put all that stuff to waste. Now I did try some of it, some of the bigger pieces. I tried rolling them up. So I had just a little bit of cinnamon butter left. So I thought, let's try doing this. Actually, the recipe mentioned it. If you got leftovers, this is what you do with it. So you spread it out on the crusts. And then the idea being that you want to roll them into usable little bites. I mean, I didn't want to let anything go to waste. So all that butter I didn't want. And I didn't think I needed more than 4 for what I was making. I figured that was plenty. So see, there's my little cinnamon roll right there. Isn't that cool? Of course, unfortunately, that's the only crust that really worked out well. The rest kind of fell apart. And you got to try it, you know. I think next time I would just do it without cutting the crust. But it was cool the first time. So now, what we're going to do here is we're going to carefully slice each piece of bread into 3 sections. And then go the other way. Each bread sandwich is going to be 6 pieces. Now I was more afraid because even though I've got a fairly sharp knife, I was squishing the bread and I didn't want to do that. So you got to be careful. Because if you got fresh bread, it's going to squish. Yuck. That's not going to look so good. So I was very careful with what I was doing. Trying to hold the bread integrity. And when we're done, there we go. There's a whole bunch of French toast bites waiting for the next step. So that's looking good. We need a bowl because we need something to dip those bites into, of course. So 1 egg, without the shells, of course. And this is a teaspoon-ish of vanilla. 1/4 cup of milk. And that's all we're putting in this. So we'll give her a quick mix. Oh, looks pretty good. Now you might be asking, what about sugar? What about cinnamon? Don't you worry. I haven't forgotten about that. This is all we need to dunk our bread in while we're frying it. We'll put that aside. Get another bowl out. And this, 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So there's your other 2 components. We'll mix this all together. And we're going to use that after we fry up the cinnamon bites. I guess you could put a little bit in before too, if you want to. This is the way we're doing it. Okay. So the last thing we need before, because I want to do this all at once, I want to sit down and eat them while they're hot. We need some dipping sauce. So this is enough, more than enough for 3 people. So it's 2 teaspoons of softened butter and 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. I cheated a bit and got the soft cream cheese. It's a little easier to work with, but you don't have to. You can use the regular stuff just fine. And that's 4 teaspoons of icing sugar. You could use the other sugar, but it's going to be pretty gritty. So icing sugar makes it powdery, then we mix. It was a little thick for my liking. So we'll put in a little splash of milk. Not much. Do it again. Come on. There we go. Probably about a teaspoon and a half. Got it so it was nice and dippy. It was a little too thick for my liking. It was more like icing rather than dipping sauce. So there's our bites and our egg mix. Let's go get them in the frying pan. 1 reasonably hot frying pan, medium heat, and that's just a teaspoon of butter, whatever you want, just to coat the bottom of the pan. You don't even really have to do that, but it just gives it a little more buttery taste. Browned up on both sides. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? And we're going to take them off 3-4 at a time and dip them into that cinnamon sugar mix. You don't want it super thick, but you want to make sure you cover them like that, and then we'll put them in a bowl till we're ready to eat them. There. Second batch, there's our little cinnamon rolls too. I thought they were pretty cool. And these ones are just a little bit darker, which you think is a bad thing, but it really wasn't. They were fine. They look just about right. Look how nice and golden brown those are. Same thing, we dip them again, put them in. Now that's how much you get. That's plenty for 3 people. Plenty. There was enough. I mean, I kind of wish I would have had bacon. So we're going to take our dip. I'm going to split it up into 3 bowls. Which, like I said, was plenty. If you want to spread it out a little thinner, go right ahead. You could probably make 6 out of it. It would be just fine because you don't need a lot. There's our French toast bites along with our dipping sauce. And now for the taste test. All right, how are they, Emma?
It's good.
These things are easy and a lot of fun to make. Give them a try next time you're looking for something different to make for breakfast.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to put a comment below and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.